David already been in there. Okay, we got off to a great start, shot the ball really well early, gave us a little more confidence. Dane came in the first half and just for a while beat us by himself. I think we had a 9-point lead at halftime, and we came out and made some hoops to keep it that margin. Still didn't do a very good job of guarding three-point shot. I think they shot 41% from three, but I thought the two biggest baskets, they cut it to 7 and lost Joel Berry in a dead corner across from our bench, and Joel made a big three. And then they cut it to 7 again, and then Luke made a really, really difficult three. The shot clock was winding down. That put it back to 10. Luke was terrible early. He wasn't the Luke May that we watched all year long. But late, he was Luke May again. He made 3 threes, got 3 offensive rebounds for baskets in the second half as well, and just really did a good job for us. But we have 5 guys in double figures and out-rebound them 44-32. I think our second chance points were 22-6. So all in all, we really played well. I didn't like our defense, but I haven't liked our defense all year long, so maybe we'll get changed before I turn 90. But made shots and guys made plays. Too many turnovers carelessly, but I think again you have to get Louisville credit for that because they just keep coming at you. I thought Dane was really difficult for us to handle, and Ray Spalding, like seeing our freshman big guys, he just goes to work and ends up scoring baskets for them. But feel very fortunate to get out of here with a W.
How big was the offensive rebound in the second half, especially so time?
Well, we missed 2 or 3 dead layups, and Luke was there to get it and put it back in. So it was big. It wouldn't have been as big if we made the layups to start with, but I thought that was important. Luke had six offensive rebounds, and he does have a nose for the basketball. He's not the most gifted, most talented, prettiest thing you've ever seen, but he has a nose for the basketball and keeps going to the board.
What do you attribute? I mean, it's got to be more than just want to for this team to be undersized with the starting lineup you have and to still be leading in rebound.
Well, we emphasize the Dickens out of it. I think every coach has got some things that you do pretty well because you emphasize it more than you do other things. We probably, with one exception, Roy Williams feels like he's emphasizing guarding a three-point shot. We're not doing that very well, but I've always felt the rebounding was most important. I scream at them every time they don't go. I jumped on Cam. He missed 2 box outs late in the game. Got after guys for not going to the board. If they don't go to the board on one play, I tell them. But I think they're buying into it more each and every day about how much more important that is to us.
You said they look good in practice after you gave them 2 days off. Was it like what we saw in the first 10 minutes?
Yeah, except we were fresher defensively too. I mean, I was pleased with what we did defensively, Joe, in the last 2 practices. I thought, gosh, maybe we're finally turning the corner. I didn't necessarily see it as much today in the game, but so we're going to give them tomorrow off. Hopefully, give them their fresh legs back again, and try to do a little practice on Monday. We play on Wednesday. Yeah, so we would do a few things on Monday to try to give their legs back then too.
After you only had 2 guys scoring double figures against Monday, you have to sit them down or show them some more film and just say, look, when you share the ball and more than 2 guys play at the same time, you'd be really good.
I think they know that. I think if you look back at it though, in that game, we lost Theo after 90 seconds, and he is the best playmaker that we have, and so that was part of it too. Kenny, I think that was the last game that, I may be wrong here, but I think that's the last game that Kenny was struggling a little bit, and he got going again after that game. But they know that I like having as many guys. I'd like to have 14 guys scoring double figures is what I would like, but it's harder to guard a team where all 5 guys can really score. I've always thought that, and I didn't have to say too much about it at all. But we did talk about lack of movement from other guys, and we also talked about how that Cam and Joel were our only offense, but we lost, and so that's important too.
You're not the only one with the win at Louisville.
No, I told them in the locker room now a couple of others have got one.
Roy, Joel gave you 23 points, but he also gave you 8 rebounds, 5 assists, had a huge block there at the end. I
know, God almighty, guys, that's all he talked about in the locker room. He used to be yelling rim protector and all this kind of junk, so I got to see it again on tape. He's been going and rebounding the ball on the defensive board. I don't know what he did today. Yeah, Joel Berry's 7 defensive rebounds. He's been getting involved more doing that for us. And he's had 9 or 10 blocks, I guess, this year. I don't want him trying to think that, but that was a heck of a play. But I think he sort of sneaked up on the guy, too. But it was big time.
The 8 rebounds ties career high.
David Paget spoke yesterday about remembering the days that, his recruiting process and how, making the point that if you hadn't left Kansas, he probably wouldn't be coaching here. What do you remember about those days, and what were your thoughts about seeing him on the intervention?
Well, it was a hard time. I don't want to get it too dramatic, but I mean, it's true. It was a hard time in my life. And I loved David Paget, wanted to coach David Paget. It had been not the best of all worlds the last 2 years I've been at Kansas. I had some conflict in the department, and it wasn't fun for me. And when I didn't go back to North Carolina in 2000, I thought that Matt would be there for 25 years. I'd stay at Kansas, and I sort of wanted to be just at one school. But then all of a sudden, they called back and offered me the job again. And 2 things that were the most difficult I've ever had to do in part of my basketball career. One thing was calling my team together at Kansas and telling them, because I was going to tell them face to face. And if I'd known at that moment how dirty I felt, how bad I felt, I couldn't have done it. There's no question. But the other thing was calling Omar and David and JR and those guys and telling them what was going on. But I thought David was going to be a fantastic player for us. He's one of the best runners, and I've always loved big guys that really run. Then he goes to Louisville and had a great career. First team All Big East, and was a leader of their team. And then he sort of hung around, and I knew he wanted to get in coaching. His dad was a coach. Dad was a really good coach. Mom and Dad, nice people. And so I followed him. I see him on the road, and I always talked to him. Last summer, we sat beside each other for a whole game and just watched the game, kept our mouth shut while the game was going on, but during the timeouts talked. And so when it did happen, it's a hard situation. But we talked a couple of times on the phone, and I told him I was very proud of it, but he doesn't need my approval, because he's David, and he's going to do a great job here, and hopefully they'll see what he's done with this club and let him stay here for a long time.
Anybody else?